What if I tell you history is not a boring subject? What if I tell you history is not a boring subject? You all have been studying it the wrong way. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how to study history the perfect way. A way in which it will seem interesting to you. Your brain will literally crave for studying history. So make sure you watch the whole video. Starting this video. So hello everyone, I'm Shresta and I scored 98% in class and boards the previous year. Now, I'm on a mission to help you all cook your academics. In this video, I'm going to tell you how to study history the perfect way. And this video is not just a random tips and tricks video. It's an episode of the score maxing series. A series where I'm going to tell you how to study every subject, each and every subject the perfect way. In a way that you will double your efforts and maximize your result of class and boards. So make sure you follow the series. I've already uploaded a video for science in this series. Make sure you watch this after that video, starting this video. In this video, we will first cover some score maxing tips for history that will tell you how to exactly study history like toppers. And then we will be covering some mark specific strategies for each and every chapter of history. What I am going to tell you in these few minutes is just absolutely worth it. So stick to the end of the video and you will get the results automatically. Starting with some score maxing tips. The first tip is read NCERT line by line. NCERT is very important for history. But the problem is the language of NCERT is quite complex. It's quite lengthy. So what do you do? See, every problem has a solution. And I'm here to tell you the solution of each and every problem you have. And here is the solution to this problem. First, you have to understand the chapter. How do you understand the chapter? Either by your school teacher or by YouTube. I personally watch Sunlike study. I personally refer to the channel Sunlike study for SST. It helped me a lot. And then once you understand the chapter, then straight jump to the PYQs. PYQs means previous year questions. And then analyze the PYQs. How do you analyze PYQs? See, which topic is very important, which topic is frequently asked in boards, which topic comes in 2 marker, 3 marker, 5 marker, which topic does not come in exam, which topic always comes in exam. And this is how you analyze PYQs. And this helps you differentiate the scoring part of the chapter from the non-scoring part. This helps you differentiate the fruitful part from the non-fruitful part. This is what toppers do. They don't just mug up all the things in the book. They memorize only those things. They remember only those things which seem important, which are asked in exam. And this is how you study smart, not hard. Once you are done analyzing the PYQs, understanding the chapter, then you finally read NCERT. How do you read NCERT? Read any chapter of NCERT like a story. A story is going on. Last time when you read a story, you remember it even today. But when you read a chapter of history, you only remember it for 1 to 2 days. Why is it so? Because the story seems to be interesting for your brain. But the chapter you read is not interesting for your brain. So you have to make it interesting in order to remember it for a long duration of time. And it is what I am telling. Make the chapter interesting. How do you make it? Make it in the form of a story. How do you make any chapter in the form of a story? Whenever you read a line, imagine it in your mind. Dramatize the incident that is going on. For example, you are studying the chapter French Revolution. A topic comes storming of Bastille. You have to imagine, the prison of Bastille. It is devastated completely. People running here and there. And this is your imagination. You imagine it and it gets stored in your memory for a long duration of time. It is how history is studied. History is made to remember for a long duration of time. Another way you can make any chapter in the form of a story is by categorizing it into 3 categories. First of all, the cause of the event, then the event itself, and then finally the impact of the event. Now, for example, we have to study the topic civil disobedience movement. We will divide it into 3 parts. First of all, the cause of civil disobedience movement, the civil disobedience movement, and then the impact of civil disobedience movement. So what was the cause of civil disobedience movement? It was Simon Commission's lack of Indian members, tax monopoly on salt, this thing, and then the event itself, salt march, Sabarmati Ashram 240 miles, this stuff, and then finally the impact of the CDM, it was Gandhi era impact, the people were manufacturing salt and demonstrating it in the front of government buildings, and so on and so on. So it is how you make any topic in the form of a story. This is how you club all the elements of the topic into one single story frame. And this is how you remember things for long duration of time. Another tip is write answers in this format also. Cause, event, impact of the event. This will make the examiner think you as a genius student, and this will make a soft corner for your answers in the examiner's mind, and this is how you get lenient checking in boards. Very important to score full on full in any subject. And then the next point is there is only one book for history, NCERT. बुक एक ही है, लेकिन एग्जाम्स बोर्ड्स बहुत साल से हो रहे हैं. अब उस एक बुक से कितने ही क्वेश्चंस बनेंगे, इसलिए क्वेश्चंस लिमिटेड है, लेकिन एग्जाम्स बहुत साल से होते जा रहे हैं. अब इसीलिए हर साल अलग अलग क्वेश्चंस बन नहीं सकते, इसीलिए क्वेश्चंस होते हैं रिपीट, एंड दैट्स व्हाई आई आस्क्ड यू टू डू PYQs. Hence questions get repeated, but the problem is जो क्वेश्चंस पहले आते थे वो सिंपल आते थे, लेकिन अब आते हैं कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस. कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड क्वेश्चंस आर नथिंग, दे आर जस्ट द सेम PYQs बट विद अ ट्विस्टेड लैंग्वेज. आंसर सेम है, क्वेश्चन सेम है, बस क्वेश्चन का लैंग्वेज डिफरेंट है, ट्विस्ट किया होता. So how do you identify what the question is exactly wanting you to answer? मेरे एग्जाम में एक क्वेश्चन आया था लिबरलिज्म से, वो बहुत कॉम्प्लेक्स क्वेश्चन था. How I attempted it, and I'm going to tell you here only. First I identified which chapter the question has come, from which chapter the question has come. First I identified कि वो question है वो कौन से chapter से आया, and then I identified कि वो जो question है वो कौन सा topic उसमें explain करने बोल रहा है. It was liberalism, and then I saw कितने marks का question है, 5 marks का question है, then I need to write 5 points. And then since I had practiced a lot of PYQs, I saw कि लिबरलिज्म से खाली एक टाइप के सवाल बनते हैं कि उसको एक्सप्लेन करो आइडियोलॉजी. तो आइडियोलॉजी मतलब लिबरलिज्म का मीनिंग, फिर उसका पॉलिटिकल, सोशल एंड इकोनॉमिकल स्फीयर, एंड देन फाइनली उसका इम्पैक्ट इज. सो आई रोट द आंसर लाइक, सबसे पहले इंट्रो दे दिए कि लिबरलिज्म ये मीन करता है, देन उसका पॉलिटिकल, सोशल, इकोनॉमिकल स्फीयर, एंड देन फाइनली उसका जो इम्पैक्ट था मिडिल क्लास ये सबके लाइफ में, वो सब लिख दिए. तो कुछ भी उस टॉपिक के अराउंड तुम कुछ भी लिखोगे तो तुमको मार्क्स मिल जाएंगे. बस तुमको वो करना है कि जितने मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन है उतने पॉइंट्स होने चाहिए. Even if you don't know the answer exactly, you can get full marks just by just writing everything around the topic that you know, and that's it. But the problem is, you cannot just do every time you see a competency-based question. So you need to practice competency-based questions. How do you practice competency-based questions? There are 2 sources. First, there are many competency-based questions available online, and the best is this competency questions issued by the CBSE website only. They are the CFEQs, competency focused practice questions. And then the second option is buy any question bank, a good question bank. And currently the best book in the market for question bank of history or SST is the EduCard question banks. Why I am saying so is because it covers a wide range of questions, all the type of questions it covers. It covers new variety of questions, so you know how to attempt new variety of questions. When a new type of question comes in your exam, you don't fumble in that question. You know how to write those type of questions. It is the advantage of using question banks. Another advantage, in history mein dates are very hectic to remember. So what do you do? जो एडुकार्ड के वन शॉट जाए क्वेश्चन बैंक है, उसमें जो भी डेट्स है उसको टाइमलाइन के फॉर्म में अरेंज किया गया है इन अ क्रोनोलॉजिकल ऑर्डर. And by using this chronological order, you can think कि ये डेट में ये हुआ था, उसके बाद ये डेट हुआ था, उसमें ये हुआ था. And this is how you frame story. You have framed the story of dates. So your brain remembers it very quickly and also for a long time. Hence, the dates are no longer a hectic job to remember for you. Once you buy these books, इस बुक को सॉल्व करने से तुम्हें पता चल जाता है कि हर साल कौन कौन क्वेश्चन रिपीट हो रहे हैं, कौन से क्वेश्चन आ रहे हैं. अब तुम्हें पता चल जाता है कौन से टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन इंपॉर्टेंट है, कौन सा टॉपिक इंपॉर्टेंट है, तुम उस पर ज्यादा फोकस करोगे. इट विल बूस्ट योर मार्क्स एज वेल एज कॉन्फिडेंस. And then the fourth point is competency questions. इस बुक में ऐसे ऐसे क्वेश्चन है कि लगेगा एग्जाम में फास्ट ये क्वेश्चन आ जाए, किसी से नहीं बनेगा except me. And this feeling you get when you practice these type of competency based questions. I have personally experienced this thing because one of my friend had the educard question bank and I sometimes used it to practice questions, and this was the feeling I got. So if you want to buy these question banks, the link is in the description box. And if you cannot afford to buy these question banks, don't worry. There are so many questions available online. Solve PYQs, they will come in your exam exactly as it is. It will boost your confidence for sure, as well as your marks. So don't worry. Practice PYQs and practice the CFBQs from the cbse website. It will help you. Now let's dive into some mark specific strategies. Starting with MCQs. Here I am going to cover each and every type of MCQ that can come in your exam from the history part. The first type of MCQ is the timeline based MCQ. In this, you are asked to arrange the events in the chronological order. Chronological order means in the order in which they have occurred. So you have to read NCERT thoroughly for these type of questions. And these questions generally come from the chapter 1 and 2, Nationalism in India and Nationalism in Europe. So make sure you read both of these chapters in a way that you remember all the events in chronological order. And then there are questions which ask you directly the date of certain event. These questions are quite rare, but you have to remember some important dates. And like unification dates of all unification, the Act of Union 1707, then the date of Napoleonic Code, or you have to remember just the year of that event, no specific date. The date on which Rowlatt Act was passed, the Gandhi Urban Pact, the Pune Pact, all is these dates. Especially from the chapter 1 and 2, these type of dates are asked. MCQs are generally asked from these chapters only, or from the chapter friend culture. And then the next type of MCQs, we have picture-based questions. Picture-based questions are the question in which picture is given and they ask you, what does the picture depict, or whose picture is this, like this. So you have to just see pictures and make sure you read the descriptions of the picture given just below the picture in NCERT. They are generally asked from the chapter 1 and chapter 2. The important pictures are the picture of Frankfurt Parliament, the picture of Bharat Tata, Germania, Lokmanya Tilak, Napoleon Sona's Postman, and these images. So just focus on all the images of chapter 1 and 2. And also make sure you see the image of print culture. They are not very important. Chapter 1 and 2 are quite important. The next type of questions which come in your exam are the questions which ask which option is correct. If you know the answer to these questions, it's well and good. And in case you don't know the answer, you can use the elimination method. What does it say is that any option which contains extreme words like only, none, or any word that makes the option seem illogical, eliminate those options. Use some brain, and whichever option does not match the chapter, eliminate them, and at last, whichever option you are left with, that option is the correct answer. The next type of questions are the questions which ask you to identify any event or anything. For example, there is Rowlatt Act. All the hints are given and are pointing towards Rowlatt Act. You have to identify from the options which act they are pointing towards. So the answer is Rowlatt Act. These questions are quite easy. Anyone can do these questions. And the next type of MCQs are the MCQs which ask identify the odd one out of the following options. And in this you actually have to read NCERT thoroughly. You need to read it like a story, because these MCQs are quite tricky. So you need to read NCERT thoroughly for these type of MCQs. And these 1 to 2 marks actually make the difference. Moving next, we have 2 mark questions. For 2 mark questions, we have the chapter Making of a Global World. Generally, 2 mark questions are asked from this chapter only. The important topics are how Spanish king used smallpox to conquer America, and then we have Silk Routes, Irish Potato Famine. Generally, the 2 mark questions revolve around these topics only. So make sure you learn these topics very nicely. And if you want a list of these type of important topics or questions, make sure you join my Telegram channel. I will attach the link to my Telegram channel in the description box. Now moving on to 3 mark questions. They are generally asked from the chapter Nationalism in India. or sometimes from the chapter print culture, very rarely. For nationalism in India, we have the important topics: impact of World War I, reasons for slowing down of non-cooperation movement, notion of Swaraj for the tea plantation workers in Assam, and then Satyagraha, Rowlatt Act, Khilafat movement, effects of NCM, limitations of CDM, why sword for sword march, and some more. And for print culture, I will also upload a list of important topics in my Telegram channel. Moving next, we have 5 mark questions generally asked from the chapter Nationalism in Europe. The important topics which are frequently asked for 5 marks are unifications of all nations and the sense of collective belonging. How sense of collective belonging developed among people in France. The Napoleonic Code, liberalism, Balkan region, how Balkan region led to World War II. These type of questions I will upload it in my Telegram channel. And then we have case-based questions generally asked from the chapter print culture. These questions are quite easy. Case-based questions, anybody can do these questions. At the end, the answers are given in the paragraph only. You have to just identify which line you have to pick in the answer. If you have any remaining doubts about history or of any other subject, then please reach me out on the Instagram handle cookyouracademics. I will surely reply to all your DMs or comment it down on the YouTube channel itself. That's it for the video. If you want more score maxing videos like this, then do let me know in the comment section and subscribe this channel so that you don't miss the masterpiece that is about to come. And yes, that's it. See you in the next one. Till then, stay connected, stay hard. Bye.